would you hire a beautiful Brazilian 20-year-old to come and help you with your kids?
Because it's cheap.
You get what you pay for. It's your girl, Meera and Min. We are here today because you're listening to us and we want to talk about Kim Cattrall, because I don't know if you've watched it. I've watched the first season. I have not watched the second season. And literally, Min, the only reason I would watch the second season is because Kim Cattrall showed an appearance. She came into the finale. I know all about it, but I did not watch the second season. I think, what is it called? All That? Something all
like
that.
And just like that.
I don't even know. And I watched the first season. So let's get into it because I have thoughts on this. And our listeners are probably already have seen both seasons. But I will say, one, there's a huge amount of diversity in it, almost so much that it's painful because it's so obvious. It's not seamless. It could have been more integrated in a nicer way, I think. But that's me. I feel like
very forced. Okay, so I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. I have.
Yeah, I feel like
it's weird because I loved Sex and the City and I have no desire to see it. And maybe it's because like the movies just ruined it for me. But mostly for me, it's because Kim Cattrall has publicly said she's not coming back. Like she doesn't want to.
Well, let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. We all know. Let's take it back. Let's take it back.
I mean, we say we know why. We don't really know why, but
we don't. But we could take it back like a decade and a half ago. Okay, when the show was at its popularity in the early 2000s, I remember. So I did watch it. I'm in New York. This was like a normal thing. Everybody watched it. It wasn't a huge deal, but the fashions were the thing. Obviously, Sarah Jessica Parker's character was the big star, but so was Kim Cattrall because she broke barriers. She had flings and said things that women were now starting to say, and she was unapologetic. Yes. And it was embraced, and that courage for her as a character really helped a lot of people. So where this feud allegedly started was after the first season was popular, the second season started, and Sarah Jessica Parker, because it's her show, she was the star technically, they gave her, I think, a producer credit. And Kim Cattrall was like, well, hold up, wait a minute. We are all equally pulling our weight, doing the same filming time or whatever. And I want a bigger salary if, as you know, SJP is getting something more. And so she negotiated a bigger salary. And allegedly the girls vilified her for it. So I don't know if this is true or not. Obviously, I wasn't there. I'm not friends with any of them, but this is what was reported. And so even when they would go to award shows, Kim would sit away from the girls. And she would always make the comments to the press back then, like, you know, I'm a professional actress and so are they. Like, we're doing our job. It's a job. We don't have to be best friends just because we play best friends. And I think at the time, she had a lot of family situations going on as the seasons went on, and she ended up deciding not to renew for a 7th season. And the network decided not to renew it because she wasn't going to be on it. Because what is that going to look like? We obviously now know in the future what that looks like. It's just like that. I don't know. My little sister just started watching it and she binged all the season and she loved it. And then she went straight into the movies and she was like, what the F is this? And then she watched the new series and she was like, even more, what the F is this? And she was like, they just went down because she saw it all together. I like the movies as standalones. I like,
absolutely.
I like Just Like That as a standalone. I don't think of it as a continuation, even though it is a continuation of characters. I haven't seen it right after the other one. So it's like so many years has passed. So I'm okay with it. But I'm not like in love with it like other people. I like it fine. But I don't appreciate, like, if this is true, Kim Cattrall came back for, what is it, Min? How many millions? 1.6 something?
No, it was apparently just 1 million. It's rumors to be just 1 million. No, because I had seen an article about it being 1.6 million in Australian dollars. I think that's what.
But if it was $1 million to come back, girl did it right, because all those years of not, and I know what it's like to not be paid compared to your coworkers when you're doing the same work or more. And she's a trailblazer.
Yeah.
She asked for her $1 million and there were stipulations that came with that $1 million. I did not see the season finale, but apparently she did not film with the girls.
No.
She filmed on her own. It was a phone call.
Mhm.
And she was not around one of the main people who worked behind the scenes or was a producer or a higher person, like a boss type of person.
Right.
And those are the stipulations. And I'm like, if you can get your $1 million for your minute and a half or whatever it is, less than a day's work, girl.
Good for you.
Yeah, you did it.
First of all,
You
good for
made up for
you.
what they screwed you over on.
Yeah.
So,
I
hey.
mean, part of the rumors too that happened in the very first season of Sex and the City was that there was beef, not just in regards to Kim Cattrall asking for what she was, but Sarah Jessica Parker making the set very cliquey. Like she had built a small kind of group of core quote unquote friends on set, and Kim Cattrall wasn't part of that. And I love that Kim Cattrall was like, I'm a professional actress. Like, I don't need to be friends with them, because this is sometimes a mentality that I don't know about you, but like when I was working corporate, that was a mentality that I had going into corporate. I was like, I don't need to be friends with you
Yeah.
people. Like,
People
I don't need you.
say, no, but people say that's high school stuff. Like you'll get over it and then you'll grow up, but you never get over it. The way
No,
you do
and
that stuff
clicks
in
still
school,
happen
it
in the
happens.
corporate world. It still happens in our adult lives. Like those things are still very predominant.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, one, Kim, like, get your bag, girl, because like I would too. And honestly, let's be real here. If somebody came up to you, Meera, and said, "We know that you don't want it back on the show. We know that, like, for whatever reason, but we want you to make an appearance," because, and this is why I haven't watched And Just Like That, is because I loved Kim Cattrall as a character. I loved what she stood for. I loved she was, and you said it, extremely unapologetic. But wouldn't you though? Like, here's $1 million for 15 or a minute and a half
But
of
she didn't
work.
work a minute and a half, right? She
No,
probably, maybe that took like a couple hours or something,
of
maybe
course.
more, maybe a whole day of work, because she had to get dressed, she had to get the makeup done, they had to have people where she was located. Look, let's take it back to our lives, right? We're not actresses. I mean,
Right.
if one of my old jobs called me and was like, Meera, yo, come, we need help with this account.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I help you? How much you want to pay? You think I'm going to say, oh, $30 an hour, $50 an hour? Hell no. I'd be like,
Oh,
half my salary or my entire salary for the year, and I will help you with this one account, because the amount of money that you're going to get. So everyone benefited from her just doing that cameo. The cameo is what saved the show. They renewed it for a third season.
mm-hmm.
That was up in the air. The
Yes.
news, the media outlets all talked about her coming back, and her demanding that outrageous amount, whether you agree with it or not, made news and made people watch it. So
Yeah.
I think, I think it was $1 million well spent. They spent $1 million on lesser things, and she was on air. And she's not chilling out. It's not like she doesn't have options. Girl has her own
No.
Netflix series. Okay, I watched it,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh my gosh. Are we talking about Glamorous?
yes.
How much did you love Glamorous? Like, it was such a good, like,
Okay,
that
I
better
didn't
be
even
renewed for
realize
another like
when
6
I
seasons.
saw it come across my algorithm, because don't come at me. I get like weird either Korean shows or teenage bopper
It
movies, and
happens.
I
It
am here for
happens.
it. I save all of them and I watch them all. I don't care how old I am. I am all about the high school life in America and Canada and Korea. I don't care. And that came across, and I was like, whoever the actor is, actor, actress, however he, she identifies, I'm like, yes, I love everything about you. I love you, brown boy, girl, someone figuring it out. And I just loved everything about his character. And then when I saw Kim Cattrall
Absolutely.
was in it, I was like, this is like written everywhere for me. This is my show. And my husband was like, how could you watch this? And I'm like, get the hell away from my TV. Like, I am watching this until it's dead.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
so good. It was, and I'm the same. It came across my, algorithm on Netflix, and I remember like just clicking on it and be like, wait a second, Kim Cattrall's in this? Like, tell me
exactly.
more.
What, you
Like,
know what? Stop judging us, listeners. Stop judging us. Okay. We have a great algorithm going for Netflix, and I refuse to let anybody sign on to my Netflix and screw it up. When you come to my house, you better get on that guest account, because do not screw up my algorithm, because it is perfect right
right?
now.
This is what I'm saying. So, but I binged Glamorous basically. Like, I was actually at the airport coming back to Ontario, and I had a couple of hours to kill at the airport. So I was literally sitting at the airport scrolling through Netflix, deciding what I was going to download for my flight. And I had ordered a glass of wine and I was doing some work, and I saw this and I was like, done. And I downloaded all the episodes and then started watching them at the airport. So much so that I was carrying my phone, passing my passport to the girl. and her looking over my shoulder being like, you okay? I was like, yeah, don't worry. Like,
I
such
mean,
a good
it's
show.
a perfect binge show. It's a perfect
So cute.
Netflix streaming platform show for sure.
Yeah.
But I loved her in it. Like she wasn't outrageous. I almost feel
No.
like there was more for her character that needed to happen. But I'm here for season 2. Like I'm okay with
Yeah.
waiting because she was a little very reserved, a little too reserved. But I'm like, that's okay. You rich bitch. Like you're good.
Yeah, exactly. Good for Kim. All right. Well, I'm excited. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go watch and just like that, but I will say like good for you, girl, for like I would do it. I mean, if my work came to me, I would do the same thing
I
as you.
will watch it at some point. I am not rushing to go and see it. I know it's already there. It's in the library. When I have absolutely nothing and it comes across my face again, I'm like, yeah, let me start it because I have a day or something like that.
Right.
But I'm not in a rush to see it. And honestly, man, it's just a couple episodes were good in the first season, but it's just the way that everything went down. There's this actress that's there, and I don't know what she is. She's a brown woman. I don't know what her background is. She's a wonderful actress, and I've seen her in a couple things before.
I
Maybe
think I
she's
know who you
Iranian
mean.
or something. I don't really know, but she came in and she was introduced as Carrie's realtor, and all of a sudden they were best friends, hanging out all the time. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, you're in your 50s and 60s. When you meet friends, you do hang out, but not to that degree where you're like talking about sex and all the I don't know. They just didn't show the progression of the relationship. And that's why I was saying
Mm.
with diversity, it was just kind of thrown in. And there was a bunch of other ones too, but I loved her as a character. And I think she was kind of entering to kind of fit in to replace Kim, but they were doing it subtly. That's how I felt because Kim wasn't in the first one. So she was that older
Mhm.
woman that was very open about her sex life, open about being single, open about loving fashion, rich, whatever, and mature. And I liked it. And she like helped Carrie through things because Carrie obviously couldn't be with her friends. And I love the character, but I just felt like they were trying too hard with her to make her integrated into the group when they had all these other characters from the seasons, the original show, that would come in and out, and we love them just the same. They don't have to be that character. They were just themselves. They were their own individual characters. So that was one of my beefs with it.
I guess we will. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But the other beautiful thing about Sex and the City was the beautiful character development that happened. And I feel like it wasn't just over one. Like I remember watching the pilot episode and thinking, okay, it's okay. But I didn't fall in love with it until like 5 episodes into the first season, where the character development had really happened heavily, where we
Well,
really learned a lot about these characters, right? So is it just fast character development?
well, spoiler alert, on the first season, at least in the first like 2 or 3 episodes, not only do we get introduced to this character, which I loved and I had no problem with. I don't know how much spoilers you want.
I mean, if
Do
you
you
okay,
care?
first of all, we're just like full disclaimer, guys. Like, if you haven't seen Sex and the City, maybe you don't listen to this episode or fast
Yeah,
forward
or
this
fast
part.
forward it like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Her daughter Lily is like in flux about her sexuality, and if she's a he versus a she, fine. That's a very big thing now. It's happening.
it's
But
Rose. It's Rose, not Lily. It's
there's
the
two of them.
baby.
I don't know. Whatever. That's how much I care to dig that deep.
Okay,
And
so
then Miranda decides that she wants to have a relationship with someone who's a they, I
oh
think.
yes, and they used to be on used to be a character on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, but I love her character in this actually. But I just thought that she went so hard and so fast with Miranda that she, spoiler, ends up moving to LA to be with her and gives up her marriage with Steve and blah blah blah. And then her son Brady was just having sex all over the place with his girlfriend, and it was disgusting. I was like, no teenager. We don't need to hear about this, and ugh, it just grossed me out.
I it doesn't sound like something I'm gonna get into. I mean, once I heard that Kim wasn't coming back, I was already checked out. Like I was like, I'm done.
But that sentiment,
I
though,
loved her.
don't you
I loved
think
her.
that back then she could have gotten paid what she was due and everybody could have gotten paid what they were due and they shouldn't have vilified her? Or if she was vilified, maybe it was the media making a big
But
deal.
why are
But
we vilifying women at all for asking for what they want? Like, why is this? Why?
because
Like,
other women are uncomfortable with it and they don't feel like other people should do things that they don't feel comfortable with, and therefore you're not one of them. This happens all the time. It happens in corporate America all the time.
I know.
I'm
And it
not
just makes
saying this is what happened. I'm just saying
no. This
this
is
is a
all rumors, right?
story that
This is all
was
rumors.
Yes.
I mean, this just reminds me, here's the thing. I think what we need to remember sometimes is that sometimes when you do something collectively, that makes a bigger impact. And this just reminds me of, do you remember when Friends all went up, all 6 of them went up for a negotiation?
Yes. And they
They
supported
all
each
did
other.
it. They all did it. Exactly. They all did it together.
And that was
They
6 of
all
them.
came out with, they all came out with the same, like, end, quote unquote, end goal. And they all received the same amount of money because each individual Friends was part of the story of the show. Had Sarah Jessica, I'm just going to say, had Sarah Jessica Parker played nice in the sandbox at that point in time, do we not actually believe that the girlfriend would have made more money with, you know, if
Well, Sarah already had the executive producer title or regular producer title, so she was already going to make more money. But I'm saying if the other girls supported it and they obviously felt like they were side characters at that point and were just happy to work, and Sarah was doing the most. The sentiment when I put myself back in that time period was that Kim thought she was the big star, like SJP.
Mhm.
And that was the problem because she allegedly wasn't. They were all co-stars, but as the timing went along and the seasons went along, clearly they were all like equal. Like everybody identified with one character because they were so categorically different. So I think they could have at some point banned it, but when that was a thought, it was too far gone because this happened after the first season.
I mean, okay, so let's go back to after the first season. Would you have continued watching if Kim wasn't in? Like, she was such a pivotal.
Probably not.
Right? Oh my God, that's exactly what she was such a pivotal character. Like, if you had gotten rid of Kim after the first season of Sex and the City, I don't think you would have made the same impact. But what if they had, hold on, but what if they had changed her? Forget getting rid of Kim's character. What if they had just changed the actress?
I mean, they do that sometimes, right? But it might have been different because we weren't as in bed with them at that point after one season. But it was a breakout show, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Guess we'll never know.
We will never know. But congratulations to Kim if that's what you were making. If you were making more, even if you were making anywhere close to that, good for you, girl. Like, just
you got the last laugh.
Yeah.
HBO can afford it. It's all good. All right, moving on. Next story. Steve Harvey.
Man. Okay, so hold on. Rumors came out about Steve Harvey and his divorce to Marjorie, but they've now been squashed. But let's go back for a second because there's rumors that Steve Harvey, when he got with Marjorie, he was cheating on his wife, Mary. Can we also say that thing for women?
Wait a minute. Let's take it back even more. I don't know anything about Steve Harvey and his wives and kids or whatever. All I know is he is on social media a lot. People clip him with his words of wisdom. He wrote that book, right? What is it?
Like a man, think like a lady.
Because he apparently knows how to live life and get what he wants and be a man. But yet I always found a little bit of like, hypocrisy with that because you clearly got divorced from your first wife. Now you're married again, allegedly happy or whatever. And I don't know your relationship or whatever you have with your wife, but it's a nice blended family and you all get along. But then this comes up. These rumors come up. And the thing is, there may not be any justifications for rumors because people are always trying to tear other people down who have success. People are always looking for something. But conversely speaking, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Ooh.
Okay. Right. So it depends on how you believe it. So whatever, maybe she was who knows what happened with her and him. But do we, Min, this is a real question. Do you think in Steve Harvey's entire career in show business, as he rose to popularity, he's never cheated?
I mean, a part of me hopes and believes that he hasn't because we will really never know. The only people who are going to really know for sure are the people who are involved in it. No. I will say, okay, so I have read his book, Think Like a Lady and Act Like a Man.
I did too, 100 years ago when it came out, and I was like,
And obviously there was a movie. Tyler Perry made a movie about it, or loosely made a movie about it. Did it become a playbook for women, though, to understand the man of a mind or the minds of a man? I mean, I think there's some insight on it, but really, like, it wasn't, I wouldn't call it a playbook, but more in the sense that it gave me a little bit of insight. But people are individual in general. One, two, I know I can't trust that Steve Harvey didn't cheat on his wife. He traveled around after, like he was a traveling comedian. Like, not to throw it back here, but like Kobe Bryant was a basketball player and he was publicly publicly.
I think they all cheat because they all have access. I think women throw themselves at them. I think they're not always with their significant others. I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I think men are men. Not saying that's okay. Not all men cheat. But I think I think they can be in compromising positions that people can use to fuel rumors and things like that. There is a really well-liked couple in Hollywood that have 3 to 4 kids, I think 4 now. Hollywood. They live in New York. And they have the perfect marriage and everybody loves them. Everything's just so great. I met somebody who works on social media and who knows their PR people, and these PR people literally spends a lot of time like squashing things from coming out because this particular celebrity cheats on his wife all the time. I was heartbroken when I found out who this person was.
I'm really hoping it's not somebody that I truly love, because I mean, listen, for a girl.
I mean, obviously, I don't know for a fact, but I just know that they spend time cutting out pictures and rumors and things like that. And that's their job. Like, that's what they do. And it just made me sad when I found that out, because that's not what is shown. And you want to believe that couples can make it, especially with that on them, with all the media on them. Listen, I don't really care about Steve Harvey and his wife, to be honest. If she cheated, okay. If he cheated, who cares? He puts himself, or he wants to be that motivational person. And I think it still works whether or not there was this issue in their marriage.
Hold on, he's not. If this later comes out that she cheated, whatever, and they do end up, I mean, they've squashed the rumors as of yesterday. Do you think at any way this is going to harm his brand? First of all, answer that question first, and then I have a follow-up. Just answer it really quickly, and then I have a follow-up. Do you think this is going to hurt his brand? No. You don't think so? If Steve Harvey was a woman, would this hurt her brand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I thought about this last night because I was like, if like, hold on, and I'm gonna add in a different couple for a second, but Prince Harry and Meghan, there's massive rumors. Like, nobody is getting off their back about a potential pending divorce. He's been sleeping somewhere else, whatever. Her brand is being like dragged through the mud. Nobody, listen, first of all, if he's cheating, I don't think they're cheating. I think they just might have a rocky marriage, or he's trying, who knows what's happening in that. And really, at this point, no offense, but who cares? But he is known as like the golden child who's traveling back and reconnecting with his family, and she's like the horrible witch who like
stole him away. And
yeah, and I am heartbroken for her, because if they are going through this tough time in their marriage and they're trying to work, whatever it might look like, or even if they're not, it's her brand that's being dragged through the mud. It's not his. And we're saying the same thing for Steve Harvey. If this is true, and this later comes out, and they've come out publicly and said, no, it's not true. But let's say if it was, it's Marjorie's brand. She's the one who cheated on Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey will still have a quote unquote career. He'll still be a motivational speaker. We just talk about how like much of a double, like that. It just upsets me how much of a double standard that is. Like, it makes me so upset.
I mean, even if Meghan Markle's marriage never ends and never has problems and we never know about it, the fact that she is receiving scripts and considering going back to work, people are dragging it. People need to chill the F out. She is an actress. Like, they are no longer royals at all. He is not the first one to leave the royal family. Yeah. Okay. There was let's take it way back to history. And if y'all don't know, now you're going to know. Queen Elizabeth's dad was put on the throne as he was the spare. Yep. The actual king stepped down, abdicated his throne so he can marry a commoner who was an actress from California. So this is history repeating itself. The only difference is now we have social media, and now the love of this particular royal family is heightened. Like, we care about every single thing they do. And the fact that the tragedy happened with Diana, their mother, we feel like these boys have grown up with us. We care deeply about what happens to them and people who hurt them,
right?
But there would have been
publicly die.
Basically. Nobody he could have married.
No.
would have been good enough. Kate
No.
was not good enough. Kate was not good enough. People
She,
dragged her
oh yeah. And
even
it's like,
after
we
they
seem
got
to have
married.
forgotten this. That
Oh,
like
of
people
course you forgot
dragged
it
her
because
through
you
the
know why?
mud.
They dragged her, all the pictures of her coming out of cars, partying, underwear. Then when they got married, people disliked her too. So what did she do? She stayed the course, and then she would do the things and people had their moments. And then now there's another villain in town.
Yeah.
So people will just be people. I agree. Meghan and for Harry, you go live your life. You go be ratchet somewhere. You go do your thing. If you want to go
Mhm.
work out, Harry, go work out in LA. Maybe you won't be an actor. If she wants to make the money, let her make the money because y'all don't got no money coming in right now. Do what you got to do for your family. He is a commoner. He no longer has his Royal Highness online or anywhere
No.
else. He cannot use it. They
No.
are commoners. We should leave them alone.
Mhm.
We really should.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, she is going to go down in history. She's never going to be able to do anything good until she dies. And when people reflect on it, she can give all her money to charity and be selfless, and people will hate her. I have family members that dislike her intensely, and I'm like, why? Oh, I just something about her. I just don't like her. And I'm like, y'all are dummies. You don't know her. I don't know her. I don't care either way. But like, Black girl trying to live her life. Let her live her life. Like,
Yeah.
why y'all gotta be
Yeah.
like that? And
Well,
you know
and this
what?
is
And
the
I
other thing,
am
right?
watching Suits, and I freaking love it.
I loved her. I mean, I didn't love
I'm
her
watching The
character
Resurgence on
completely.
Netflix. I just started watching it. It's amazing.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good.
Putting
I had
that
to stop watching it
putting
this
that on
week. I was
my
like, I need a break.
I'm putting that on my list of things to watch. I feel like it's just never ending. But she was just a girl who fell in love with a boy. Like at the end of the day, like she's just a girl who fell in love with a boy. Did she expect it to be the Prince of England? No. Like,
He was dating. So the one way back when, not you guys all might not care, but way back when he was dating Chelsea, whatever from South Africa or whatever African country, I think South
oh yeah,
Africa, and
yeah.
that was his sweetheart. And allegedly they were gonna get married, right?
Yeah, they had gone
Allegedly,
back.
'cause
There
yeah.
was rumors of them going back and forth for years and years.
Yeah,
Like
so
they broke
everybody,
up and they got
but
back
like,
together.
which one of you people listening didn't have that? Let's be real. And when you think back to your ex, you want to go back to them? No, like an ex is an ex is an ex. But even if she married him, it wouldn't have mattered. They would have villainized that girl too.
Yeah.
Black, white, whatever. It wouldn't have mattered. So, you know, he fell in love. They have a
Yeah.
beautiful family. They just
Yeah.
want to do their thing and be left in peace and have a semblance of life. And unfortunately, they thought America would be it, but they're still getting kind of looked at by the paparazzi. I mean, I think they should just buy a ranch in Utah or something. Nobody would care at that point. You get your
Oh, you
privacy.
think it's because they're in LA and
Well,
it's
she's
easy.
from there. It's her hometown. So I get it. If I come back to
Yeah.
New York, I want to live in New York because it's my home. I don't want to leave my home. But if you want peace and quiet, like you need to be outside of the LA
Well,
area.
when they lived in Canada, they lived on the island, and the island community kept it very quiet as to where they were. But like she would be able to go out for runs.
But people, paparazzi found them.
Yeah, which at the time, because they're the other thing too is that when they escaped to Canada, because Canada is part of the Commonwealth, Canada allowed or provided security for them
Right. They don't
on
have that
Canadian.
anymore.
No, they don't have. No,
They have to
well,
pay for
the reason
everything
they
now.
left the reason, no, I shouldn't say the reason they left, but their security was being eliminated because Charles was taking away his title, right?
Right.
So Canada wasn't going to provide that security anymore. They were going to have to fork on money for that security.
Right.
And then I'm sure whatever happened, she probably wanted to be closer to family, whatever that might look like for her, for the
I think
family.
Tyler Perry loaned them his house or something, or somebody like that.
Yeah.
So people were trying to help them, especially with privacy and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're a mom with a little baby, it's a safety thing because it's not like people just want pictures of you. People hate you. People want to hurt you and your baby. And people are racist. Like it's a safety issue. And if you can't afford, because where are they getting all these millions and millions to do this? Like she didn't do anything to be a bajillionaire. And he has money because his family has money.
Yeah.
So they're a regular family right now trying to make ends meet when you really think about it, but have a high profile. And anything they do, they try to do the documentary, they try to make money, they try to do things classy, but it's just, he wrote the book, like, it's just not enough. Like, they're not going to be able to live up to the expectations of what it meant before. And honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. I think they need to hire PR people, a really good PR
Well, I'm
company.
sure. Well, I'm also very surprised that they aren't working for some larger PR companies in general. But I mean, at this point in time, like, kind of a piece of me is just like, aren't we over it?
You would
Isn't it
think.
like, in my opinion, just like, be over it. Let them live.
I agree. Let them live.
Let them live. Anyways, going back to Steve Harvey though, like, I know I dragged them. I know I dragged them in because in my mind, I just feel bad for Megan's brand being dragged through the mud. But if these rumors were true, Marjorie's brand would be dragged through the mud, and Steve would still. And that.
Well, he went online and he disputed the rumors, and he fired his social media manager. And I guess that was it. And he cleared it up. He cleared up the whole thing, and she's not seeking a divorce. Apparently it was their chef.
Oh, not her bodyguard?
I think it's one and the same, isn't it? Let me see. Let me. Wow, that guy's 66. Okay. I think it's the chef or the bodyguard or something, like somebody close to home, basically. Which either way,
yeah.
I don't want to know that about my person, but I would fire everybody. You know, you hear about it in Hollywood all the time. The au pair, the nanny. Like, get out of here. I'm not hiring a hot young au pair to live in my house. Get out of here. I trust my husband, but come on. Like, why would you hire a beautiful Brazilian 20-year-old to come and help you with your kids?
Because it's cheap.
You get what you pay for.
Oh my God.
But for some people it works out. For some people it works out. And I had a boss that loved having au pairs for his kids, and he had a different au pair every time. And, you know, he's very trustworthy and whatever. And they had their own space in the basement. And I've been to his house, but his house was not that big. I mean, it was big, but it wasn't like she had her own like guest house or anything, right? Which a lot of in Hollywood, if you're rich enough, you have a nanny that, and I don't, why do you want these young nannies with college education and they're in their 20s? I don't want somebody in my 20s raising my kids. If I had money, I would be having somebody in like their 50s that's lived, had kids that are grown, that's been through it. I don't want a 20-something year old that don't have no kids and never been married. Get out of here. Get out of here. What kind of experience you got? You got good knees so you can play on the floor with them? Me too. Okay. No.
Me too.
No. No, it's different. It's different.
Yes. Also, you're right. And you do want, I'm with you. I would want somebody with life experience too, because they're going to think 10 steps ahead. And you want somebody who's going to think the 10 steps ahead and see the blind spots when you can't, right? So I'm with you. I get it, girl. I get it. I mean, it's easier, right? It's free. If somebody wants to cheat, it doesn't matter if it's your au pair, your chef, your bodyguard, it's going to happen regardless.
Well, it's not even about wanting to cheat. It's why. Like, what are they missing that they feel like they need to
to the cheat thing, and I'm going to drag a different royal family member into this.
Oh gosh. Okay, so
hold on, it's not going to be Charles. No, actually,
Charles.
There's rumors that Prince William has been cheating on Kate's best friend.
Ooh, who's the best friend?
For years. I will send you a picture of her. But like, this woman was like at their wedding and like for years.
Are they still best friends?
Kate acts cordial when this woman is around to her.
Cordial? Kate's like a robot. Okay. I feel bad for Kate. Kate's like Stepford wife type of situation, but royal.
I mean, she has to be though, right?
Yeah, she has to be. And you know, she is a role model and she does all the things, but I think the reason people are obsessed with Meghan and Harry before they left the royaldom or whatever it's called, it's because there was a sense of normalcy with her, the relatability, right, with him, because he was always not as proper as his brother because he wasn't raised to be king. And they are the very formal couple that does all the right things, wears the monochromatic outfits, and then there's this other couple and they're more woke, let's say, in all ways. And I think the media ate them up because it's more relatable and it's more current. It's more Gen Z. And Unfortunately, again, history repeating itself where the paparazzi went into a frenzy like they did with his
Yeah.
mom. I mean, just recently, about a month ago, they were in New York and there was a car chase. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, there was a car chase. It had to have been late at night because New York had mad traffic, guys. But it was going down this highway, which I know can be empty sometimes, but scary to think that like you could hurt people. New York is a crowded island. Manhattan is crowded. Why would you do this to them? Why is it that serious? What are you
Talk
trying to
about history
photograph?
repeating itself.
Yes, and that could have been super, super dangerous. And I think about, poor Brittany that we talked about last week that's going through a
Mhm.
divorce. And she had paparazzi follow her when she had a different car and she wrote about it online. And she's like, they're still following me. And I met up with my boys and like some guy friends and had a party time. And I'm worried about Brittany, by the way, just putting that in there. But it was like, why is this still okay? This should not be okay. Like, how many pictures do you need? I don't know.
I mean, it's not about how many pictures they need. It's about how well those pictures sell, right?
Yeah, but
And
like,
people can't get
if you
enough.
sell
Like
those
we
pictures,
want the back. We want to see what their lives look like.
but the thing is, like, you're selling those pictures and creating your own narrative, i.e., Steve and whatever
Mhm.
his wife, Marjorie, Steve
Yeah.
Harvey and Marjorie, you are creating a narrative that may not even be true, and you're hurting people. Like, are we not better as a society? I'm seeing that we're not, and it's not
I mean, this
okay.
goes back down to capitalism. Like
Yeah,
this isn't about hurting. They don't care about the people that they hurt. All they
I
care
don't
about
know.
is the dollar bills and the zeros at the end of that check.
It's just so sad. It's just so sad.
It is sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. For me, it was a question in my mind as to what's this going to look like for Marjorie. And listen, Marjorie was a housewife. I don't think she really has a brand per se, quote unquote, unless there's
Maybe
something I
now
don't
she
know
will.
about.
Maybe now she will.
Maybe this is to kickstart that brand. And if it is, I mean, good for you. But regardless, I all I could think about this past couple of days when I heard about Steve Harvey was this is not going to do any damage to him.
Nope.
And now this poor woman could quote unquote lose everything.
Man,
You
well,
know?
they seem like they're fine now. Things are
Yeah.
okay. Things
Yeah.
are okay.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some coffee, man, and guess what? It's not.
It's not a latte. It's
It's
not
not a pumpkin
Starbucks.
spice. It's not pumpkin spice.
Oh, girl. Okay. Have you? Oh, okay. So pumpkin spice
Guys,
has kicked off.
welcome to fall. It's not even
Welcome
fall
to
yet.
fall.
Girl, it
It's
is
not
still
fall yet.
August.
It
Every
is
year,
22 degrees in Ottawa right now. It's so hot in my
yeah,
apartment. I
it's
just put
like
back on my
almost 80
AC.
degrees in New York, Fahrenheit, and it is pumpkin spice season. And I am mad because it's getting earlier and earlier every year. And
Okay, I thought so too.
last year, I think it was September, and years ago, it used to be like mid to end September when fall actually happened on the calendar. I
Okay, I
cannot have
thought
a
so.
pumpkin spice. I cannot have pumpkin spice right now in 80-degree weather,
Are
80-degree
pumpkins even
Fahrenheit.
available right now? That's my other question. Like, shouldn't pumpkin
It
spice
is.
come out at the same time pumpkins are available to us?
No, because it is a spice. It is a powder that they add to your drink. It is a
Well,
syrup.
then add it all year long.
I need to feel the chill. I need to wear my plaid and in my mind anyway, even though I don't have this outfit, it is brown and tan and cream. And
I
I
see this
need to
outfit, I
wear
think.
that.
It's super
I,
cute. Yes.
I need to wear that outfit and walk in and get my pumpkin spice latte, skim milk. And maybe, last couple times I had it, I had to do less of a pump on the pumpkin spice. So that is way too damn sweet for me at Starbucks because I saw you had a Starbucks cup. But I will say, for all y'all listening out there, whether you love it or hate it, the one thing that I will say, not to knock on Starbucks, when you go to any of those artisan places or any of those regular coffee shops that have it, try it. It is a different life. It is different. Let me tell you.
A
You
different
can,
tasting from the stuff at Starbucks.
oh God, yes. Like Starbucks is great for like, I do it once a year at Starbucks. I'm like, oh, I got my pumpkin spice and I will never do it again for the whole entire season. And then it goes into, I'll see it in other places. And depending on how cute the coffee shop is, I'm very into coffee shops. If they have it and I'm like, oh, I could do a pumpkin spice. It always tastes different. Always. It always tastes more heavy, more full bodied. It's not a syrup or a pump that they put in there. So it's quite lovely. And
Ooh.
I highly, highly recommend go to a local coffee shop that does craft coffees and try it out because they will always have it as well. And give them some love too. I know you're gonna
Yeah,
spend your
absolutely.
your $6, $7 on your venti
I
pumpkin
think it's
spice
eight.
this season.
Girl,
Eight.
well, yeah, I'm in Canada, so there's an exchange rate, but this was 8.50 something today.
Well, go to a local coffee shop that's super cute and
Yeah.
try theirs. And it'll be maybe be five. And you're giving back to your community. And that is way better. Let me tell you.
Okay, so I've only ever had the pumpkin spice at Starbucks, and I tried pumpkin spice about 2 years ago. And before y'all come at me, please don't, because I hated it. It was disgusting at AF. Like, I hate pumpkin spice. It's so much so that if you guys follow either Meera and I, but on my social media, on my Instagram, one of my team members had commented about how, like, this was a couple of years back when I first launched, about how, like, I couldn't wait for pumpkin spice season. And my girlfriends, like, matter of seconds, saw that comment and they were like, this wasn't you.
Well, okay. Maybe if go with a girlfriend and at a coffee shop that's local, like a nice artisan one, they must have it where you
Yeah.
are. There's so
Yeah, we do.
many. And try it, but have somebody else buy it and then you could take a sip. It is just different. Like I feel like I don't mind the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks once a year, maybe, but it's just like the pump. It's like syrup. So you get the flavor. Like when you go to a
Yeah.
nice shop, they have the powder or they do it like a little bit thicker. It's just nicer. I don't know. It's less sweet. I think pumpkin spice from Starbucks can be really, really damn sweet. And in other places, it's not. Because I don't add, normally when I drink coffee, guys, I drink coffee black. That's how I drink coffee. So when I'm going for a specialty drink, it's a choice that I'm going to get a specialty drink.
Right.
Like I make that conscious choice and I want it to be good. If I'm going to get a caramel macchiato, that better be a good caramel macchiato because I want that sugar
Yeah.
that day. If I'm
Yeah.
going to have the pumpkin spice latte, I definitely want it with soy milk or almond milk. And I need less pumps because in Starbucks, I know it's damn sweet and I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So go get yourself your pumpkin spice latte. Let me know how it is. Let me know if you love it or hate it. Oh my God, I should put this on Instagram and make a poll.
It's totally going on Instagram, and we are making a poll.
Oh
Also,
God.
is it too early to be pushing out pumpkin spice? Like, that's my other question.
I think it
Yes,
is.
it is. It's so early. Can't we wait until just after school? But everything is coming out so early. Like, our kids weren't even out of school before I saw back to school crap on the shelves.
Oh,
And I was
really?
like, wait, what?
I
Yeah,
saw
it's just
Halloween stuff
so
recently.
early. No,
Halloween, end of October. It was like 2 weeks
not
ago. I
okay.
saw Halloween.
Not okay.
It's
Not
the
okay.
next holiday coming up for kids, right? So, I mean, they're just doing it 2.5 months in advance.
I mean, so I guess our thing is that, like, right after Halloween in Canada, and sometimes there's a short overlap depending on the stores, but we'll see Christmas stuff come out. And our Remembrance Day, or what we try to push on up here in Canada, is that Remembrance Day is, celebrate veterans of World War I and World War II, is slowly being forgotten because Christmas is such a big push with
Capitalism.
stores. Yeah, capitalism. So, I mean, everything's just super early.
It is literally the CVS, which I don't know if you have CVS up there, but the CVS, which is a pharma, it's like a Walgreens or a Rite Aid or whatever. They will wait till October 31st. And the next day, what's left is on another shelf and Christmas stuff is full out. And actually, sometimes they don't wait till October 31st. They'll start clearing things out. So, and other stores that don't have a lot of Halloween stuff, like Christmas stuff is out in October already. Like it is just, people need it. And we have Thanksgiving here. So that's in November. That's before Christmas. So we have October is Halloween. Then we have the November Thanksgiving push. Then we have Christmas. So Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of almost goes hand in hand a little bit now. So yeah. And then right after Christmas, people be putting out, I do not want to see Valentine's Day stuff the first week in January.
No, because we're exhausted. Like, our credit cards are exhausted. Yeah. We're exhausted. Like, who wants
even
to
the
see
second
that?
week in January, you know what? It is not a holiday. Okay. It is not a holiday. It is just a day that we're putting for lovers. Just like Halloween is like a day for like fun and scary. It's not a holiday. It's not a national holiday. We don't get it off.
No, but it moves money.
But what do you buy for Valentine's Day? Like, I don't need decoration for Valentine's Day. Just give me some damn chocolates and flowers.
I don't even celebrate Valentine's Day. In my mind, listen, you can all come at me for this, but if you need a day for your significant other to make you feel special, you shouldn't be in said relationship. Like,
that's how I think too. I strongly say that when people are like, "Oh, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? What are you doing for your anniversary?" I'm like, I say, "Oh, we have an anniversary," and I do get gifts and stuff. So don't get me wrong, but I don't make a big deal out of it. I don't care if we pass our anniversary and we forgot about it, which we actually did. Well, I celebrate our first date. Our wedding anniversary is coming up soon, I guess. And look, I didn't even think about it.
You're like, I'm trying to remember. That was cute. Listen, and I'm gonna say this. That's the kind of marriage that I would want again. Like, that's the part of, like, I want a man who's gonna come home on a Tuesday with flowers because he saw flowers on the side of the road. You know, I don't want the man.
I don't get that, but
but I don't want the guy who comes home on our anniversary because it's our anniversary and now he's feeling forced to do something. You know, like, don't get me wrong, like, there are other ways to celebrate each other as you know, in a relationship.
I don't know. He does do the anniversary things. I will say that. But if he didn't do it, I don't think I would care. But he likes to follow the, like, oh, well, first year is this, second year is this.
Oh,
like,
that's so
paper.
cute.
So for him, it's like that. But it's like funny stuff. Like, one year was like fruit, and like, I think he got me a toaster because it was fruit and steel or something stupid. It was like two different lists.
Adorable.
So he got me a bowl of fruit. So it's like stupid stuff. It's just like funny. It's not a big deal. It's not like the grandiose gesture to prove my love once a year. And I like that. Like, I feel like I should feel like I matter throughout the year. And I'm not when you talk about the love languages, gifts are not my love language at all. Like, I'm a quality time person, 100%. I think for him, he's probably an acts of service guy. Because when I do things, I think he feels appreciated when I do things for him. So gifts is not a huge deal for me, but it's more of like how you respect and treat each other the rest of the time too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I've always been like that.
Pumpkin spice. Look at that.
I mean, if he goes out to Starbucks and get me a pumpkin spice latte, I would be like, "Aw, thank you."
Mm-hmm.
But I actually know people. I know this couple who's been together for 43 years, and she is a gift person. And he'd be like, "Here's gifts. Here's gifts. Here's we're doing this." She's like, I give her gifts as my friend's mom. And I give her gifts, and she's like, "Ooh," and it could be the stupidest thing, but she just always that's her love language. She just needs things all the time, and she just feels loved, even if it's like, I saw this little elephant and thought of you, and here you go. And she like dies.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Okay, so while we're on this idea of like love languages, do you think this changes, your love language changes as you change and evolve as a person as you get older?
Oh, interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, it would make sense that you do, but I think at some point it kind of solidifies. I mean, some people can have a combination. I don't need presents, and I think it's because I grew up in a situation where I never really had much or got presents like that. I mean, we had Christmas and stuff out as I moved to the States, but it was more of like, because I didn't have, I don't feel like I need. But I could see how people who are in that situation would feel like they need to feel the love because they would feel unloved. Everybody's different. I don't know. I'm a quality time person, and that's what it is. If people do things for me, I feel like I'm indebted to them. And I don't like that feeling. And I don't know why. I wish I could change that. But I guess I have, because when my friends do things for me, I've learned to be like, "Thank you so much. That was so kind of you." Like, my girlfriend came over the other day and we had dinner, and I put my kid to sleep and everything, and she left, and she knew I had forgotten to get milk. So she went to the grocery store, got milk, came back and dropped it off for me. And now I'm just like,
"Thank you." Sweet.
It is so nice. And I was like, "Don't worry about it. I could do it." She goes, "Yeah, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to pass. I'm just going to go do it. It'll take me 5 minutes." And she did. And it's that act of service. Now I'm just like, "Thank you so much. That's really kind and generous of you." And I accept it because it's people that I know that I would do the same. But for some reason, it's hard for me to accept. I don't know why. And that's it. But yeah, I guess I have changed because I do accept those things now. And I know she loves me. Yeah. And she loves my baby. Otherwise, she wouldn't do that. She could easily have just gone home and I wouldn't even think anything of it.
Yeah. So. I love that. Yeah, no, again, I've been reflecting a little bit on mine lately. And if this was, I've been divorced now for 3 years. I mean, amazing. But while I was married, I was very much the gift girl. Like I needed stuff, quote unquote, to make me
Okay.
feel loved. And that was me for a very, very long time. But lately it's been now that I'm reflecting on it and back out in the dating world, quality time and physical touch are two very big things in my world that like I would much rather have over mostly too, like, where am I going to put all this stuff? Like, I'm purging like nobody's business, but yeah. So I think it
Okay.
just evolves as you change as a person and what your needs are. Or maybe I'm just now learning that, like, maybe because,
Stuff is stuff.
all right, I'm just gonna say it. Maybe I just wasn't in love with my ex-husband. I just needed the gifts to feel a little better about our marriage.
Oh my goodness. Well, only you could tell us if that's the truth, but
Right. So again, these are deep dives that I'm going into. So don't come all at me. Okay. I don't know the full story of it all yet, and neither do you guys. So
I mean, do you go to therapy by any chance?
every week. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure at some point you'll dive into where that came
Oh yeah.
from your childhood, because
Oh yeah.
I I guess we kind of have that third world country background, but you were born in Canada, right?
No, born in Thailand and then came to Canada when I was 5.
Okay, so I came to New York when I was 8. So I guess do you remember a lot of growing up in Thailand?
I remember enough. Like I can recall like what my grandmother looked like at
Okay.
that age. And yeah, and I recall like pushing my brother or not my brother, my sister in like a hammock swing while she napped.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
recall certain things.
I remember making toys and not having a lot. And I remember getting the one or two toys that I had, and I specifically remember getting them.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, I don't, for me, you getting stuff might be, like I said earlier, it might be like the way that you perceive love because someone's being generous with you. And
Mhm.
for me, I don't see it that way. I'm like, okay, thanks. But like if somebody gives me a gift and walk away and I can't spend time with them, like I don't know how to me, that's not a good feeling
Fair.
because I didn't have a lot of people spend time with me. Nobody was around. My grandfather, I remember when I was a kid. And then I guess it has to do with my coming here and losing my parents and all, like being with my grandparents and that I didn't really know. So maybe that's why I like the quality time. It's
Mhm.
interesting. I mean, I've never thought about love languages and how they form, but whatever fulfills you at that time, you're right. If maybe it's based on the decade.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean, I love when my husband gives me nice gifts. I mean, he got me some Van Cleef Arpels Alhambra earrings, and I was
Ooh.
like, what? What for me?
Oh,
And it
so
wasn't even for like a
cute.
big birthday or anything. It was for like a random birthday. And I was like, well, this was very nice and random. And
Love it.
I was tickled. I was tickled. I loved it. But it was so random. To
Mhm.
me, I'm like, my 40th birthday was like, you could have given it to me for my 40th birthday, but it wasn't for my 40th birthday, which was another birthday. And I liked it because of that.
Oh,
It
I
was just
love
because
that.
that's what he
So
got for
cute.
me.
That's so
Right.
cute.
And I'm like, what did you get for me for my 40th? Can't remember. Not that.
That's so cute.
No,
Oh,
but
it's
yeah,
so
so I
cute.
think it's just you're right. As you get older, the different things from different people, like you do change because like I said, the active service from my friend was very kind and uncalled for and I was grateful for it because I wasn't gonna
Mhm.
get milk. Not that my kid drinks milk like anything, but when he's been wanting it because it's not there and I'm like stupid cow's milk. But, mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
we went off on all topics today.
I know. I know. It's amazing what these things are that shape our news feeds, really how they really feed into our lives and the discussions that we have around them.
Yeah,
This is a great discussion
Kim Cattrall,
for you,
Steve
girl.
Harvey, pumpkin spice lattes, and love languages.
Yes. Yes.
There it is, guys. There it is.
Yes. It's a great, great episode.
Well, hopefully people enjoy it. And if you want, follow us at Woke Pretty Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And you can email us at wokeprettypodcast@gmail.com. And of course, follow us, subscribe to our podcast so you never miss anything. And we'll be here for you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll
Bye.
see you next time.